Thompson Bowling Arena sold out for the first time in 3 years to see the North Carolina Tar Heels take on the Tennessee Volunteers. It is the first time in 8 years two ranked teams have squared off here in this building, where there is a buzz once again for the Vols. You are watching the SEC on ESPN. With Jay Billis, I'm Doug Sherman. So glad you could join us here this afternoon. And indeed, there is a buzz back here on Rocky Top.
Well, there is. And final exams are over, but this is a really big test for both teams. For Tennessee, can they hang with North Carolina in transition and hang with them on the glass? Because North Carolina's got another excellent rebounding team. And can these young Tar Heels handle the pressure defense that Rick Barnes is going to throw at them? With all the denial, they're going to be out in passing lanes trying to stifle North Carolina's offense. But North Carolina's led by junior Luke May, who's up 14 points per game from last year, averaging about 20 points per game, 10.5 rebounds. He's a pick and pop big guy that is a really good player, and it's going to be difficult for them to match up with. And for Tennessee, Grant Williams is a baby Barkley. He's averaging almost 17 points per game, about 7 rebounds per game. He's a difficult matchup for a team like North Carolina, because you put a big guy on him, he can drive it, take it to the basket. You put a smaller guy on him, he takes him down into the post. And when I say he's a baby Barkley, he is big, strong, and explosive, and just as loquacious.
Well, Rick Barnes is in his 3rd year as head coach of the Volunteers, and I am telling you, the program certainly is trending in the right direction. And for him to get this team to where it is now at 7-1 overall, the only loss coming to now #1 ranked Villanova, there is belief here in Knoxville. Roy Williams in year number 15 as head coach at North Carolina. The reigning national champs come in with a record of 9-1. Their only loss came to Michigan State. So each of these two teams have lost only to the elite of college basketball this year.
Well, the game against Michigan State was an aberration for North Carolina. But the key is, how are the young big guys for the Tar Heels going to play in this atmosphere? Are they going to be able to protect the basket against Tennessee?
Jay, here's a look at the Dr. Scholl's starting lineups. These two teams squared off last year in Chapel Hill, and North Carolina fell behind by 15 points, wound up rallying to win a thrilling game. And as they went on to win the national championship, that was their biggest deficit overcome.
And they did that without Theo Pinson in the lineup and without Joel Berry.
Carolina with the basketball first. Off the steal, Bowden gets the scoring underway.
Already North Carolina being pushed further out on the floor.
May is denied by Alexander. Williams off the up fake. Berry for 3.
That's really a key, Doug, is for Tennessee. Can they make the play after the play? You know, they're very good off the first couple passes. If North Carolina makes 2 or 3 passes, reverses the ball, can they make the next play?
Berry picks up his first personal foul. And Jay, I'm curious too, will North Carolina have any rust? It's been 11 days since they last played.
Yeah, but they played a bunch of games, and it's mostly a veteran team. I think whether they played 3 games or 3 days ago, whatever it is, for the young guys, this will be the most difficult atmosphere they've played in as a college basketball player. And there's nothing like stepping on the road against a motivated opponent that's top 25.
Jordan Bone, the freshman, or rather sophomore point guard for the Volunteers, with a couple of free throws. Vols with the 1-point lead.
Jordan Bone trying to put good pressure on the ball on Joel Berry, who's an excellent ball handler.
Here's May facing up. And a foul on the rebound goes against Admiral Schofield.
You really have to get a body on these North Carolina rebounders, and Theo Pinson is an excellent rebounder on both ends of the floor. But he gets a run up, and if you don't get a body on him, And he's going to get to the ball.
Jordan Bone with the takeaway. And he's by himself and then carried the basketball.
He thought somebody was coming behind him that he could pass it to, and then realized what he caught out of the corner of his eye was not a teammate. He was looking to lay it off and then realized I got nothing but Tar Heels behind me, and then double dribbled. But that was a terrific alert play on the out of bounds play to take it away on the handoff.
Schofield with the steal.
Well, North Carolina has to be stronger with the ball. They're getting it taken right out of their hands right now. I'm not sure North Carolina's gotten up more than 1 or 2 shots thus far. They've turned it over a number of times.
5 possessions, 3 turnovers for the Tar Heels. Williams misses his first shot attempt, but how about the improvement by the 6'11 junior Kyle Alexander?
Kyle Alexander is one of the best offensive rebounders in the Southeastern Conference, and that's where he gets most of his points. Alexander guarding Luke May so that Grant Williams doesn't have to do it and pick up some needless fouls.
Barry, the step back 3. Wow. He's got it.
Wow. And Jordan Bone was right on him with that terrific step back. That was such a quick release. But Joe Barry shoots that ball from his chin, and for him to get that off, it not only has to be a quick release, but he's got to gain separation, and he did it with that great step back move.
Bone off the bounce. Volunteers back in front 8-6.
Garrison Brooks was right there. That was just good offense beating good defense 2 plays in a row.
That's a 2-point try. You know, in North Carolina's last game against Western Carolina, they shot a remarkable 73% from beyond the arc. 16 for 22.
Well, that would be good in warm-ups. But on that last play, you know, there's an example of not getting a block out and it costing you a basket. I mean, the first shot defense for Tennessee was very good, but they didn't clean it up and finish it with the defensive board and wound up costing them a basket.
Schofield. Bowden, no. And then the hammer dunk by Alexander.
Kyle Alexander's just outworking people right now. Such a good athlete. He's only been playing basketball for a short period of time.
Yeah, he grew up north of the border playing volleyball, hockey, and didn't start playing hoops, as you say, Jay, until the 11th grade.
Well, North Carolina's having a hard time running anything right now.
Barry lets it go out of bounds. Tennessee basketball.
Thus far, it has been North Carolina struggling with Tennessee's pressure defense, and then the great play inside by Kyle Alexander. Going to the offensive glass, falls ahead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Zales. 'Tis the season to save and sparkle more than ever. And Boost Mobile.
That is Ayers Hall, the signature building on the campus of the University of Tennessee. And they have checkerboards that were built into that building back in 1921, and it has become the signature look for the athletics department. And you see that we have a human checkerboard here today where fans were instructed over the last 2-3 weeks. If you're in this section, wear orange. If you're in this section, wear white.
Pretty cool. And we found that out yesterday when Rick Barnes took us around campus. He toured us around like we were looking to go to school here. I don't know, maybe I'll enroll.
I was ready to sign.
I could use another degree.
Now, he gave us a grand tour, not just of the athletics facilities, but drove us around and took us up on the hill where Ayers Hall stands. 3-point bucket for a young man closing in on 2,000 career points, James Daniel III.
Well, James Daniel was a screener there, and after he set the first screen, came off the second ready to shoot. Averaged 27 points a game at Howard. This is part of their offense. He sets a little screen here, then comes off the screen set by Grant Williams. And North Carolina and Andrew Platek just totally lost on that really well-run offense by Tennessee out of the timeout.
That is 1,987 career points for the young man who played his first 3 years at Howard. Off the nice spin, Luke May with his first 2.
And Daniel is transformed his game. He's now a pass-first point guard that's playing now in a winning culture here at Tennessee. When he was at Howard, they didn't win a lot of games, and he was expected to carry the entire scoring load.
Rebounding foul going to go against the Vols and against the redshirt freshman John Fulkerson.
John Fulkerson is a real key for Tennessee. He missed almost all of last year. In fact, it was right after the game in Chapel Hill where he was injured. He had a dislocated elbow, difficulty with his wrist. He had a broken rib. He had a lot of things that he had to deal with. But he's got a live body, and he can be a really, really good player. If he comes on for Tennessee, they can take the next step.
He also had labrum surgery back in May. Nice move by Williams, couldn't finish, and down hard goes Sterling Manley.
Manley's done a nice job in just a couple of plays. Looked like he hit his head when he went down, but he's going hard to the glass. When Grant Williams went to block that shot, there's nobody there to box him out.
Manley appears to be okay. That's the second foul on Fulkerson, and so he'll head back to the Tennessee bench along with Grant Williams, who has been quiet here in the first 5.5 minutes.
Difficult to establish rhythm when you play against North Carolina. Great pressure on the ball by Tennessee. Carolina had a backdoor cut, and they took it away because of the pressure on the ball. But it's so hard to play against North Carolina, Doug, because you're going up and down the floor at 1,000 miles an hour. The transition game, it can be difficult to establish rhythm because Carolina disrupts it with their speed.
While James Daniel has changed the way he plays here at Tennessee, he certainly has not lost his ability to shoot the basketball.
No, it's just he's taking different shots now. They're coming more within the context of an offense where he's trying to get other people involved first.
And he also leads the SEC in assist to turnover ratio. May. This is Chris Darrington, junior from Toledo, with a basketball. Terrific depth in this Tennessee backcourt for Rick Barnes. They really play 11 people, 6 off the bench every game.
Yeah, they say 11 starters. Good post up by Schofield.
Little step back, nothing but net.
That was really well done because he posted wide and called for the ball.
That's against the Tar Heels and against Brandon Robinson.
Right now, Doug, the pressure that Tennessee is putting on North Carolina has really affected the game. The question you have is how long can they keep it up? Can Tennessee keep this kind of intense pressure on North Carolina for 40 minutes? Because it has really caused North Carolina to turn the ball over. It's forced them further out on the floor. When Joel Berry gives the ball up, he's not been allowed to get it back. This young man, Chris Darrington, is a really good player. When as many turnovers as Tennessee has forced, they have coughed the ball back up. And I'm not sure all the turnovers that Tennessee has have been forced.
Volunteers with some pressure. This is Jalik Felton with a basketball, freshman from West Columbia, South Carolina.
And maybe the most talented player on the floor.
Offensive foul. Robinson picks up his second.
Just use that off arm to get some space on the drive because the pressure has been so intense. Not much of a push, but when you raise that arm up and put it on the chest of the defender, they're going to call that every time.
Now, Jay, even though the Volunteers and Coach Barnes have been good this week about saying it's just the next game on the schedule, there's no getting past the fact that this is the big game for this group of players, for this community. And it's hard to keep those emotions in check sometimes, isn't it?
It can be, and that's a real test for us. Jordan Bone, another really good move. That's the big test of the game. is if you want to play on this level and be a ranked team and rise up, win your league, be a seeded team in the NCAA tournament, you have to win games like this at home. Well, how skilled is Sterling Manley? Wow. I mean, that's a pro move right there.
Bone under control, gets 2 more.
Well, that's just too easy.
Back and forth they go. Kenny Williams with the layup.
Well, North Carolina gave up some easy stuff underneath. I mean, if it weren't for Jordan Bone scoring, I mean, Derek Walker would have scored because he had Sterling Manley pinned underneath the basket.
Bone. He's been hot. A little strong on the triple. Williams spotting up. You give him that much room and he's knocking that down.
Well, that's where you have to be alert in transition and find shooters. Andrew Platek and especially Kenny Williams. Kenny Williams his freshman year and came into college with a great reputation as a shooter. Made 1 3 on the season. It wasn't until the ACC tournament. And now he's leading the ACC in 3-point percentage. He's the shooter now that he was reputed to be out of high school. And boy, has he made a tremendous leap in his game.
Theo Pinson with a basketball. Yeah, the numbers for Kenny Williams shooting the ball are just remarkable. 55% this year. There's Manley again. 4 quick points for the freshman from Pickerington, Ohio.
And he stuck with it. Didn't make the catch initially, but stuck with it. And he's got such a soft touch. He's got a great deal of skill as a low post performer. He's long, tough to shoot over. But he's got to get used to the pace that Roy Williams wants him to play at. It's so tough for some of these big guys to have to run like North Carolina requires you to run.
5 to shoot. Darrington goes right to the bucket but missed the layup. Didn't hit the rim, so it's a shot clock violation. When we come back, Grant Williams gets the honor of a lifetime. He gets to go 94 feet with R.J. Billis.
Glad you said it instead of me. It is an honor of a lifetime.
"94 feet with Tennessee's Grant Williams." What is your favorite thing to eat?
I would say pasta.
Now, I heard a story that your mom sent you something in a care package and Rick Barnes intercepted it. Is that true?
It's true. My mom sent me a box of popcorn because that was the #1 snack I had, and Coach Barnes, while I was running on the treadmill, cooked a bag of popcorn and ate right in front of me.
He ate it in front of you?
Yeah.
All right, what is your favorite subject?
I would say Spanish. It's my minor.
And how about what music do you like to listen to most?
I love R&B, and also I listen to a bit of jazz because of my grandfather.
And I'm told that you are really good with instruments. How many instruments can you play?
I can play 9, but if I were to be good, I'd say I'd be good at 3.
All right, who does the best Rick Barnes impression on your team?
I do for sure.
All right, let's hear it.
What are you doing? Go think about it.
94 feet.
Very interesting young man, this Grant Williams. By his mom's nickname, he is called General. And she has given nicknames to her 3 sons, General, King, and Chief.
Does he outrank Admiral Schofield?
Yes.
Well, I can play 9 instruments. I never get credit for it. I'm very good at the kazoo, the cymbals, triangle. I play a mean gong.
Well, he says piano is his best. Offensive foul called against Joel Berry.
That's the 3rd offensive foul that Tennessee's pressure has brought on. Like, North Carolina's had a very difficult time handling the pressure that Tennessee has brought throughout the course of this game.
And that is the 2nd personal foul on Joel Berry. He stays in the ball game midway through the first half. Tennessee, having gone cold at this end, goes to Williams, who scores his first 2.
Well, Tennessee likes to isolate Grant Williams at the elbow. And he is so big and strong. You know, he's not tall, but he is big and strong. And when he gets it at the elbow, he can inside pivot and then, nice little up and under move. You know, when guys do a kind of a double clutch sometimes and go underneath the rim, people call that an up and under move. That's really technically not so. What Grant Williams just did right there was an up and under move. And he's got a good degree of skill. He's a really good player.
And he admitted yesterday to us that he, growing up in Charlotte, was a Tar Heels fan, and that he still has a North Carolina Tar Heels cap back in his bedroom at home. Says he hasn't worn it in years, but still has a soft spot for UNC.
I don't think he has one today.
Here he is going to work on the low post.
Good pass.
Boom. Around and out. On the offensive glass, Williams.
Just stronger than Garrison Brooks down low and shoved him out of the way legally.
Berry from deep, and a very good box out by James Daniel. Quickly up ahead. You know, James Daniel, when he was being recruited by Rick Barnes, made it very clear, I want to play for a winner at Tennessee. I'm not coming in here looking to score 27 points a game as he did 2 years ago for Howard. And he has done just that, part of the winning formula for the Vols.
Well, thus far in the game, Luke May has not been able to get anything.
Another Tar Heels turnover. Numbers for the Vols. Turns into 3 more. Off the bounce, James Daniel with 9 points coming off the bench.
Right now, Tennessee is dominating the game on the defensive end. And really the issue is how efficient will Tennessee be on offense, because they have done an excellent job defensively.
Off the screen, Daniel again. And the ball is saved by Theo Pinson for North Carolina. Tar Heels down 6. Quickly ahead. The pass too long for Garrison Brooks and out of bounds.
Well, Grant Williams came into the ball game, got a couple of quick buckets, but really it's been the Tennessee pressure defense and a little bit of James Daniel as well. Vols have the lead in the first half.
Transition defense, right? Rebound the basketball, run with it. It's our standard, all right? It's what we want to be, who we want to be. We got to keep building. Everybody got that, okay? You know, we got to play. We got to run. We got to play. We're not getting on the glass. That last time we did, we got to make plays now. You guys gonna have to make plays.
Well, this Tennessee team has made plays, especially on the defensive end. Getting a rotation and then taking the ball the other way. North Carolina's turned the ball over 8 times, and you know, Tennessee's not afraid to run when they have the opportunity. James Daniels come into this game and had a terrific start. He's 3 of 4 from the field, all of them threes. He's got 9 points. Jordan Bone, those 2 guards, they've combined for 17 points, and North Carolina has 8 turnovers thus far in the game.
And Jay, you know, large hostile crowds are an everyday occurrence for North Carolina. Not so for the Volunteers, but they have come out and played extremely well here in front of 21,000. First sellout in this building in 3 years. Jalek Felton shuffled his feet, and the turnovers continue to pile up. Tuesday night on ESPN and the ESPN app at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll have the Cheribundi Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl. It'll be Lane Kiffin and FAU's offense squaring off against the Zips of Akron.
As poorly as North Carolina has taken care of the basketball in this game, they're still only down 2 possessions on the road. And the issue for Tennessee is, can the Vols sustain this pressure over the course of 40 minutes? And Rick Barnes, one of the best coaches in the country, has done a remarkable job really everywhere he's been. Started off at Providence, won a Big East championship, a regular season championship at Providence. Went to Clemson, did a fantastic job at Clemson. He's been to 22 NCAA tournaments, went to the Final Four in 03.
And in talking to his top assistant, Rob Lanier, yesterday, he said we're building the same way that Rick has always built. Williams with the left hand.
He's got a lot of game if he's going to get one-on-one in the post. You know, Grant Williams can score over length. He can score over strength. He can go through people.
Pinson, tough shot off the baseline. May with the offensive rebound. He's bottled up, tied up, and a foul is called against the Volunteers.
Looks like I get Jordan Bowden for reaching. He was on the back end. That's where you got to trust that Grant Williams was there. There's no reason to slap down. If you can go after the ball, if you can go after it with 2 hands, that's the best opportunity you have to get a steal there.
First foul on Bowden, the 6th against the Vols here in the first half.
Good fake.
One and done for the Tar Heels. 6:25 remaining in the half. Williams off the terrific up fake. Tries to throw it down. May was waiting for him, and it's an offensive foul.
I'm not sure that's what Pat Adams had. Jamie Lucky had that. I think Pat Adams is going to call that differently. Luke May did a nice job. Even though he came up from underneath the basket, he got his feet set and he was outside of the restricted area.
And so Williams takes a seat, having picked up his 2nd personal foul. Carolina has not made a field goal in 3.5 minutes. Luke May able to end that drought.
Well, that's what North Carolina was so great at last season, offensive rebounding. They're in the top 20 in the country. They're leading the ACC in rebounding margin, but they're not the kind of offensive rebounding team that they were last year. This game, a little bit of a similar feel to last year in Chapel Hill, where Tennessee got off to such a great start, but couldn't sustain it down the stretch and in the second half, and wound up getting beat in the Smith Center.
Jay, that foul on Brandon Huffman, one of the 3 freshman bigs, trying to fill some pretty big shoes for the Tar Heels.
Well, Huffman is a good prospect. He dunks everything around the basket, plays with a lot of energy, and does a good job of getting on the glass. He just has to learn the system. And right now, you've seen with a couple of the freshman big guys for North Carolina that they've left the floor on fakes, and that's gotten them off balance. And as they get older and get more experience, they'll learn to stay down. This is not, the North Carolina system is not easy for freshmen to pick up. Roy Williams is in the Naismith Hall of Fame for a reason. I mean, his stuff is, they run great stuff, and they're relentless in the way that they run it. And everybody knows, everybody scouts North Carolina. Everybody knows what's coming. The question is, can you stop it? And the answer for the overwhelming majority of the time is no.
Another Carolina turnover.
That was the play after the play. That's where Tennessee stopped the initial action, made a rotation, and made the next play. That was big time.
Foul on the rebound off the Schofield miss.
See, that's an example, Doug, of John Fulkerson's energy out there, his athleticism. He makes a great defensive play in taking the ball away on the other end at the end of the play, and then he relentlessly goes after the glass on the other end.
Young man from Kingsport, Tennessee. That's about 100 miles east of here. Who in that game in Chapel Hill last year was very effective. 8 points, 4 for 4. And as you said, he was injured shortly after that game. But Coach Barnes very high on that young man's upside.
And when he comes into the game, he can point the press and some full court man pressure just to make it difficult on North Carolina. Take some time off the clock. Look how far Carolina's catching it out on the floor. Their passes are longer, their drives are longer.
Nice setup, unable to finish was Manley, and then a foul called against Carolina.
See, Manley, that's one of those where Sterling Manley should catch that with both hands. I mean, if you can't take it up with a dunk on the lob, pull it down and then go up with both hands. He tried to corral it with one, but just bring it down. You got a little guy on you. Bring it down, score, get fouled, or both.
So that's the excuse me, Jay, the 7th team foul on Carolina. So a 1-and-1 for Lamonte Turner.
Sterling Manley is going to be a really good player.
Kept alive back to Turner. Tennessee will keep Luke May the last to touch.
I think that drives Roy Williams crazy, that you're in position and when all you have to do is grab the ball.
Bowden went left. The pass from Bone went right and right out of bounds.
Another unforced error for Tennessee. The Vols have done so many good things, but there just have been a few too many turnovers when North Carolina hasn't really forced it.
One of the big things Rick Barnes is looking for in his young team, the 5th youngest team in the country, by the way, is consistency.
He's not alone there. A lot of coaches looking for that, aren't they?
No question about that.
This team is very well prepared for this game. North Carolina was scouted as well as any opponent that I've seen in the last few years. I mean, Tennessee has every tendency down. Now, it doesn't mean you can stop them, because it's really difficult to do it.
Clean look for 3, way off the mark. Theo Pinson couldn't find the range.
He's really struggled from three-point range this year. I think that makes him 3 of 21 on the season. But everything else he does really, really well. Best passer on the team, top assist guy, best defender on the perimeter.
Schofield facing up, now backing into the lane.
And that's why he's the best defender. Schofield bigger and stronger, and Pinson stayed in front, made him take a fadeaway.
Fulkerson got a piece of that shot on the way up. It goes out of bounds and takes us to our under 4 media timeout. Tennessee in front of a packed house here in Knoxville, leading the defending champs by 9.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Cheerios. Good goes round.
Cotter, the coach, and the Fonz. It's like a 70s sitcom coming up. Zales halftime report.
And Mr. Peabody.
We're going to talk about Arizona State trying to stay unbeaten today. A look back at a big day for the Big 12 yesterday. Why is North Carolina losing this game by 9 points?
Well, I love how Tennessee is doing a great job of controlling the tempo of this game, not allowing Carolina to get out in transition.
Hardest played, toughest team finds a way to win. Tennessee, they got a bunch of junkyard dogs.
Jay and Doug, we'll see you guys at the half.
Chris, thanks so much. Yeah, if you had to pick out of the 4 remaining undefeateds in Division I college basketball right now, I think the Sun Devils are the biggest surprise out of the bunch.
But they can really score. Bobby Hurley's done a great job. They took a lot of punches the last couple years, and now they're punching back, and they've got some punch behind them. Trey Holder, an excellent guard.
They are fun to watch. Their big win, of course, going to Lawrence and knocking off the Kansas Jayhawks. It's another North Carolina turnover. Give them 11 so far here today.
Got a foul on Admiral Schofield. He tried to shield off a defender. Not sure I like that call, but it's probably the correct one.
Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. We'll have the DXL Frisco Bowl between Louisiana Tech and SMU. I got a kick during practice yesterday when Admiral Schofield came over to you and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Billis, I'm reading your book."
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I want to know, did he buy it?
As opposed to gifted to him?
I like it when people buy it. No, he's a great kid, and boy, he's so big and strong. And it's really has improved his game and has become a real leader for Tennessee.
And playing a different role this year for Coach Barnes, right?
Yeah, because he's having to play more at the 3 spot. I'll tell you one thing, North Carolina finally ran some really good offense. That was the first time that North Carolina has been strong with the ball in the half court. Set good screens, moved the ball. I'm sure Rick Barnes would have liked more pressure to be on the ball and not let Carolina catch it where they want. But North Carolina, once they reversed it, and Jordan Bone probably needed to be out there a little bit harder to make the reversal tougher, make the catch a little bit further out and extended. That's hard to do possession after possession. But North Carolina has to get stronger with the ball. Key is catching the ball where you want. And thus far in the game, until that possession, I can't think of a possession where North Carolina caught it where they want.
And Jay, that free throw just made by Pinson was the first taken by the Tar Heels today. Good action to get the clean look, but unable to knock it down. Jordan Bowden, the sophomore from right here in Knoxville. Jalek Felton with a wild shot, got it back. The crowd wants some sort of carry, but the officials say that the ball was deflected apparently by a volunteer. Offensive foul, Andrew Platek.
Yeah, that's a makeup call.
Yep.
They knew they screwed it up and made it up right there. Platek takes a foul for it, but
well, that's Don Daly who reacted immediately to do that makeup along the baseline.
But even if it wasn't deflected, you can still go get the ball if you mishandle it. Tennessee doing a pretty good job of back cutting. North Carolina really trying to get out and pressure the Vols. And there have been some back cuts that have been open.
Bone, the pull up. And the Volunteers remain cold 0 for their last 6. Last field goal came almost 5 minutes ago, and a rim run for Sterling Manley.
North Carolina gets a stop and immediately takes it the other way. And Sterling Manley, it has been difficult for him to run the floor throughout the year because it's relentless. You have to do it over and over again, but he outran his opponent here, gets rewarded for it. Roy's right, run!
Monday Night Football has the Falcons against the Buccaneers. 8:15 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. A huge NFC showdown. And you can see it right here on ESPN Monday night. With Jay Billis, I'm Doug Sherman, back in a sold-out Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Would it be great to watch that Monday Night Football game with Sean McDonough doing the game, and you can hear him say, "John Gruden, what do you think of what I just said? Wasn't it brilliant? I'm Sean McDonough, and I'm brilliant."
Well, if Sean is watching, you can expect your phone to buzz in about 3, 2, 1.
And I think it'll be a 2-word retort.
Strong drive to the bucket by Jordan Bone.
Jordan Bone has had an outstanding first half. This is a huge minute and a half as we go toward halftime. Can North Carolina cut this deficit, or can Tennessee extend it?
Felton, another wild shot. Daniel is then fouled by Felton. And, Jalek Felton coming off a real good game his last time. Scored 15 points, said he's getting his confidence back where it was.
Yeah, but he's struggling right now. I mean, he turned his head looking for the screen. Jordan Bone saw it, just went right around him into the basket. That's how he was able to do that. I mean, it's a difficult environment here to rely on your help and for somebody yelling out, hey, screen right, screen right. But once you turn your head, good players are gone. And then on the other end, Jalek Felton turned it over. He's going to be really good. And this is an amazing learning experience for him. But right now, this is a freshman struggle on the road against a quality opponent. And these are difficult lessons to learn, but one that he's learning on the fly.
Pair of free throws by James Daniel III. He's got 11 points for the Vols. Lead back to 8.
Well, can North Carolina answer right now? They had it down to 4 with 2 minutes to go. They're going to hand up on Williams.
The man who shoots 55% from the perimeter drove it but missed. Better stick to Daniel. He's been hot. Back out to Bone. Good ball movement around the perimeter.
And a smart move by Alexander, not just to throw the ball to the left. He made a pass fake and was able to avoid a turnover. If it's not there, don't let it go.
Derek Walker Jr. with a basketball into the game for the first time, and he makes a bad pass that goes out of bounds. The Vols will keep it, but with only 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Might want to put somebody on the ball here to make it difficult. You might be able to get it further in the front court.
Jordan Bone not going to get it off.
Really nice job by Brandon Robinson there to come up and stop the ball.
Shot clock off, 24.6 remaining in the half.
And Tennessee's still going to bring the pressure. They're not just going to let North Carolina take the last shot of the half.
Pinson gives back to Felton, who glances up at the clock. Williams with 5 seconds in the half. The putback by Manley beats the buzzer, and a strong finish for the defending national champs.
Well, what a great offensive rebound by Sterling Manley to end the half. North Carolina was outplayed, but yet only down 2 possessions.
Halftime here in Knoxville. Let's send it back to the studio. Chris Cotter, LaFonso Ellis, and Seth Greenberg. Welcome back to ESPN's Holiday Hoops, presented by Zales. At a sold-out Thompson Bowling Arena, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. In this battle of ranked teams, North Carolina is trailing Tennessee as we get ready for the start of the second half. Welcome back, everybody. Along with Jay Billis, I'm Doug Sherman. And the Vols were able to get after UNC and turn them over much more than the Heels would like.
Well, I think Tennessee did a great job on the defensive end. They really brought the pressure on North Carolina. They got out in passing lanes. They pushed Carolina further out on the floor. And they wound up scoring off of their turnovers, so creating offense from defense. 12 North Carolina turnovers in that first half. That led to 15 Tennessee points. And Jordan Bone and James Daniel came into the game and did a great job on both ends of the floor. 21 points between those two guards, 7 of 11 from the field. And both Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield each have 2 fouls. They've got to get more involved offensively. But Tennessee hung on the glass with North Carolina. And one bright spot for North Carolina was the freshman big guy, Sterling Manley. Came off the bench. He had 8 points and 5 rebounds in just 11 minutes of play. But the question is for Tennessee, I mean, they had a great first half. Can you sustain it for the course of 40 minutes? Because North Carolina is a championship level program. They play 40 minutes. And in order to beat them, whether it's on your floor or theirs, you've got to bring it for 40.
Last year in this matchup in Chapel Hill, Tennessee led by 8 at the break, and North Carolina came back to win that ball game. Down 6, Carolina looking for a similar script. And Tennessee begins the second half with the basketball.
Immediate scramble, the double team out top. And Jordan Bone passed out of it, but Grant Williams didn't make the next pass.
Williams, who played only 9 minutes in that first half, misfires on the first attempt. Bone with the extra pass to Schofield. He's got 3.
That looked like Joel Berry was going to pick that ball off and take it the other way, but it got through somehow.
To the cutting Luke May. Easy, too, off the terrific feed from Garrison Brooks.
You can tell that North Carolina is looking to get the ball inside. They want to play inside out, have it touch the paint, and then they can make some cuts, go to the offensive glass. But they didn't get the ball inside at all in the first half.
Here's Grant Williams. Over the left shoulder for 2.
He is a baby Barkley. He can be so explosive. You let him go one-on-one in the post, and he'll be able to score at a high percentage.
And Jay, Grant Williams says he has watched videos over the years of Charles Barkley. I also like that he has patterned some of what he does as Luke May hits the three on Adrian Dantley. I thought that's another good one for him to emulate.
Well, that's really old school. You know, both you're talking about two undersized players and two of the best players to ever play. The Admiral on target twice from that right side to start this second half.
Both teams knocking down their shots early here in the second half. Joel Berry with 10.
And to start the second half, this has been more of a pace that North Carolina likes. They want to get the ball down court quickly. And they don't mind taking a quick shot because they want more possessions. That was a nice job by Grant Williams of keeping that ball. Could have given the dribble handoff, instead kept it.
Carolina comes in averaging over 88 points per game. Tennessee 79 per outing. Luke May left it short. Brooks ripped it away from his teammate, and he'll have a chance for three.
Can you feel already, even though Tennessee's performed really well offensively in the second half, they've not brought the same kind of defensive intensity in the second half that they did the first. North Carolina able to get the ball inside. They are able to drive it to the rim. And then when you give up that kind of penetration, you have to get a rotation, and then you wind up giving up an offensive rebound.
Alexander and Bowden go out for Tennessee. Bowden picks up his second personal. And again, with the depth off the bench in the backcourt for Rick Barnes, he's got options that he's very willing to go to.
Well, Tennessee plays a lot of people. Their depth and their defense are the two best attributes of this team. You know, they're coming along as a rebounding team, and their offense is complementing their defense. They're getting better offensively. Got a really high assist rate. They've got to cut down the number of fouls that they have. Continue to play really good pressure defense without fouling. But Tennessee's a good team that's going to continue to get better. Good pass.
On the repost, Williams has it rim out. A rare miss here in the second half for either team. A combined 8 for 11 to start the second. Here's Pinson already with 5 assists. Couldn't make it 6 though because of the defense by Williams. Here comes Schofield at the other end. He missed the layup. Vols will keep. Lamonte Turner around and out.
They don't get any further in the basket than that one.
Berry. Nice putback by Kenny Williams.
Well, Tennessee is having a little bit more difficulty in this second half of getting back to stop the ball in transition.
Tennessee definitely going to the general much more here in the second half, and so General Grant Williams will head to the free throw line.
Shot goes up. Not everybody gets a block out, and Kenny Williams able to just waltz in from the corner. And that's because essentially, you know, in transition defense, it's difficult to have everybody picked up. You know, that last play for North Carolina, the one before Kenny Williams got that putback. You know, Sterling Manley had a little screen roll on the right side. When he rolled to the basket, he got the ball lobbed up to him. That's when Grant Williams blocked it. Yeah, he needs to pull that thing down. If you don't have the dunk, pull it down and then go up where you can score or get fouled.
Bone grabs the miss, and the possession continues for the Volunteers.
Just more alert, quicker to the ball, and stronger going after it. Well, those are winning plays that Jordan Bone's making right now.
Off the pick and roll. That's another shot for Tennessee that was halfway down, came out, and yet another offensive rebound.
Well, Lamonte Turner saved it from going out of bounds. And now North Carolina's having to play a lot of defense all right in a row.
Trying to feed the post. Pinson with the steal.
Well, Fulkerson's got to hold him off. Oh!
And for the folks in the stands in Carolina blue, they're being heard with the chants of Luke.
They used to call Luke at me a lot when I played.
You think?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why they would call me Luke, but that's what they did.
Yeah, you got to go with it, I guess.
Every time I came in, they called me Luke. Pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it was too. Boy, there is something on that Tennessee rim, but again, the possession's extended.
Yeah, North Carolina has been a very good defensive rebounding team all year, but right now Tennessee is getting every loose ball up on the glass.
For a total of 12 offensive rebounds for the Vols. Williams, despite the deflection on the way up by Manley, is able to muscle it through.
And that's over a guy with a 7'2" wingspan. It's Sterling Manley.
7 quick points in the second half for Grant Williams. And then his defense denies Manley. Dangerous outlet, tracked down by Schofield, but in his bid to stay in bounds, he took an extra step.
Well, he has been living up, Grant Williams, to the nickname Baby Barkley. Doing it on the offensive end, one-on-one in the post, and doing it on defense, too.
This might be the last time you get to talk into this mic and tell everybody how much you love Ricky from Hickory.
Hey, Ricky from Hickory, I'll let them fill in the blanks. I like Tennessee, but I like you a hell of a lot more. I mean that sincerely.
People here, they love it. They're waiting on something good to happen. I promise you, that's a charge. That's a charge. You got to be smart. You got to know they're going to do that. Look, we got to play together on offense, and we got to go get some offensive rebounds. All right? Just play. But down here, stop them and run.
Rick Barnes and Roy Williams are good friends. You got a little listen to what they said in their pregame get-together. Barnes, a 63-year-old native of Hickory, North Carolina. Roy Williams, a 67-year-old from Asheville, North Carolina. I think they've got some shared values.
They're great friends. And you know, Rick Barnes has not always been the most popular man in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. He famously had a little scrape with the late, great Dean Smith when he was coaching at Clemson. But both he and Roy Williams, very good friends. And Rick Barnes, you mentioned from Hickory, went to Lenore-Rhine College, and he said they made it a university after he went there.
That was right there in his hometown. He was a real good Division III basketball player back in the day. Of course, Coach Williams went to North Carolina and played on the freshman team before turning all of his attention to becoming a coach and learning at the feet of Dean Smith as a student, and then later for a decade as an assistant on staff. Luke May got good position and able to convert.
Very well run by North Carolina. They looked for the back door. James Daniel guarded it very well when Joel Berry tried to go back door on the wing. And they just set a little cross screen for Luke May. Carolina's getting the ball inside a lot easier than it did in the first half, and that could wind up being a big difference in this game.
Schofield going to work. Rims off, Pinson clears.
And Tennessee just can't settle for jump shots. They've made a couple, but they still need to attack the basket. Carolina didn't shoot any free throws of note in the first half. I think they only had one. And they're going to look to try to get the ball inside in the second half.
Grant Williams will come back in for Tennessee off of the foul by Darrington.
The out of bounds underneath. That was a really nice job after a little cross screen by Joel Berry of Sterling Manley to dribble the ball into an entry. I mean, that's a freshman big guy that just fed the post that way. That was really well done by Sterling Manley. Really well done by North Carolina. Boy, Admiral Schofield is built like a battleship himself.
Daniel's going to be called for the foul. And there is Schofield, listed at 6'5", 238 pounds, from Zion, Illinois. And, you know, his father, Anthony, is a retired senior chief in the U.S. Navy, and I don't think it's a coincidence that he has a brother named General while he's named Admiral.
It's a lot of people you have to salute when you're going down for breakfast.
And my big question is, why does older brother O'Brien not have a name like Commander?
He should. Commander-in-Chief if you're the oldest. We'll screen for the screener action, and Sterling Manley didn't need to lean into that. Playtech would have been open just on the cut.
Third foul on Sterling Manley, a freshman from Reynoldsburg, Ohio.
He's had a really good game. For him to come into this game on the road and play as well as he has, really encouraging. North Carolina's big guys, their freshman big guys, are going to be really, really good.
And how much of a benefit is it for North Carolina, for Coach Williams, to come off of the defending, or as the defending national champs, to have Joel Berry decide to come back, and then Luke May as well? They've got a lot of experience to help lead the way for those kids.
And they usually do. It's unusual for North Carolina to have so many young guys playing such prominent roles.
Andrew Platek misfires. North Carolina ball. They say Fulkerson was the last to touch.
Luke May much more active in this second half. He couldn't be blocked out there, and Fulkerson picks up yet another foul. He just can't seem to get any rhythm. I really like Fulkerson. He's going to be a good player, and he's really going to help Tennessee. He's the guy that can help them make the next step as a team. He brings a different dimension with his energy, his athleticism, his ability to make plays.
Bodies go down, 2 Volunteers. And nobody's hurt on it. Back to action, 12:46 to go second half. On the reverse, Williams no, and it's Williams who clears the rebound.
Fulkerson did a nice job of running the floor.
Darrington hangs in the air, missed the little finger roll. Tar Heels with a chance to tie. Platek misses on the layup. Long rebound stays with UNC. Here is Berry. Multiple opportunities finally cashed in as May has a chance for 3.
Well, you said multiple opportunities, and that came from multiple effort plays for North Carolina. When Luke May got that rebound, I mean, how many 4 men can bring the ball down and start a break? But offensive rebound after offensive rebound. The first one was Kenny Williams, who made a great pass to Joel Berry. You know, that normally is going to be a made 3. But that's on the road to have that kind of momentum play. That can change the tenor of a game and the momentum of a game.
The last time Carolina and Tennessee were tied was 8-8. And that is still the case, but another offensive rebound for the Heels. For the lead, it's Berry. First time since 3-2, North Carolina has been in front.
You know, oftentimes you'll say about a player, he's a winner. Well, Joel Berry's not a winner. He's a champion. What a player.
Well, that time the rim was a little friendlier for the Volunteers as Darrington gets his first 3. Berry misfired. Tennessee basketball.
A nice job by Tennessee of icing that ball screen and then rotating over to make that shot difficult. Chris Darrington from Vincennes Junior College got the shooter's bounce. And then Joel Berry on the other end of the floor. There's a reason he was the most outstanding player in last year's NCAA tournament. Little emotion from the little guy.
Joel Berry with this last 3-point shot draws even on the all-time made 3 list in Carolina history, along with one of his assistant coaches, a guy we're very familiar with, our former colleague Hubert Davis, one of the all-time great shooters in not just Tar Heel basketball history, but NBA history.
Well, one of the all-time great guys. Hubert Davis was not only a great player. I don't know a better guy than Hubert. And you know, you like to think, we all like to think we're good dads. You know, at least I do. My kids may differ with me on that. Best dad I've ever seen is Hubert Davis.
Yep.
They're remarkable.
He and I got to work the Puerto Rico tip-off together 5 straight years, brought the wife and his children, and you could see that, the way he dotes on it. And it's rare to see Hubert without his huge smile. I mean, he has one of the most infectious smiles you'll ever see.
Well, he competes, and Tennessee just turned the ball over because they ran the baseline on a spot throw-in. Another unforced error for the Vols.
By the way, it stands to reason that Joel Berry has been knocking down shots here today as Williams fires away. You know, Carolina had its game day shoot around at 8:30 this morning, which is a little bit earlier than normal. And that's because their senior point guard, Joel Berry, says, I want to get there and get up shots.
Yeah, both he and Luke May and Kenny Williams, they asked to have early shoot-arounds on game days where they've got an earlier game.
James Daniel for three.
You can't go under on any sort of ball screen or exchange on James Daniel because he can really score. And he's been looking for a shot on this one in this game.
Mays had the hot hand in the second half. Grant Williams finds Lamonte Turner right to the rim for two. Barry quiets the crowd.
Boy, what a big-time answer. Off the ball screen to split the defenders and then get all the way to the rim, throwing his body into the defense and still keeping his eyes on the rim to finish the play. Boy, that was a crowd-quieting play that North Carolina had to have on the road.
It's the veterans leading the way for the Tar Heels. Barry and May both with 15 points. Wide open look from the corner, but Darrington is off the mark. Here comes Luke May. Give it off to Barry.
Good pass.
Williams right to the basket.
Boy, that was beautiful. And a great job by Garrison Brooks to keep that ball alive on the other end because Grant Williams was about to get a stick back. Brooks is really solid. Nothing spectacular right now, but he is really solid.
Grant Williams going to back down on Brooks. Alexander back off the bench with an offensive rebound. And then he's going to pick up the foul.
And Alexander really went. He fell right on top of Theo Pinson in that left leg. I wonder if Theo Pinson's had some injuries, but boy, a fantastic pass here by Joel Barry. Cross court to the streaking Kenny Williams for an easy bucket. That's what Carolina wants to do in transition. But boy, Kyle Alexander had some great opportunities to finish in traffic and made some really good plays, just couldn't get it done. And after Tennessee had made an 8-0 run to answer North Carolina's run. This has been just one heavyweight punch after another. And now with Jalek Felton in the game running the point, Tennessee's going to have to try to take advantage.
Now that's a near 24-year-old defending a freshman and taking the ball away.
Just the pressure being brought. And Roy Williams not afraid to play, but you can't go between your legs and behind your back when you're facing that kind of pressure on the road. But Roy Williams is not afraid to play his bench. Some coaches would say, you know what, I'm not going to risk it here. But they want to be fresh at the end of the game, and they want to get their rotation playing time and game experience. Roy Williams not just playing this game for today, he's playing for the end of the season too.
Jay, third foul on Brandon Robinson, just the third against the Tar Heels here in the second half. Later tonight, SportsCenter at midnight on ESPN with Scott Van Pelt. We'll tell you what the Steelers-Patriots showdown means to the AFC playoff picture, how the Eagles respond without Carson Wentz, and hear from Aaron Rodgers on his long-awaited return, also streaming live on the ESPN app.
Better pressure right now on the ball, at least for Tennessee. Abner Schofield with a foul down low, it looked like. And all of a sudden, North Carolina is shooting free throws the rest of the way on common fouls. In the first half, the Tar Heels could not get to the foul line. I think they only shot one free throw on an N1.
Good roll for Brooks. He is now 6 of 11 on the year. Freshman out of Auburn High School in Lafayette, Alabama.
So if you went to Auburn High School in the state of Alabama, does that make you, are you more likely to be an Auburn fan or an Alabama fan?
I'm guessing he was a Mississippi State fan because his dad is an assistant coach for Ben Howland and the Bulldogs. But you're right. Which way would you go? Actually, young Mr. Brooks signed with Mississippi State before changing his mind and deciding to head to Chapel Hill.
Two big free throws by Garrison Brooks. Good job by Daniel keeping his dribble. He got down to the baseline. There was nothing there. A lot of guys will pick their dribble up. He kept his dribble.
A graduate transfer from Howard gives to Schofield. And a nice job on the glass by Brooks. Williams draws the whistle, and he'll shoot two with a chance to retie the ball game.
Admiral Schofield did not take a bad shot in the other end. Like, he's hit a couple threes. He can make that. He's a good shooter. But at this point in the game, I think Tennessee would be better off taking that thing to the basket, because North Carolina's attacking the lane. They're getting to the free throw line. And they're putting more pressure on Tennessee's defense than Tennessee is putting on North Carolina's on the other end.
Nice round of applause for James Daniel, who goes out with 14 points.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's enough applause. He's had a terrific game. James Daniel has been excellent on both ends of the floor. He's a really good defender.
Right, you know, his calling card is obviously the fact that he's got nearly 2,000 points in his career, but he's a very well-rounded player.
Excellent on the ball defensively.
Bone gets it back. Bowden. The lead stretches back to 4. Dangerous pass. The Volunteers fought each other for it, and the Tar Heels catch a break.
Best time to shoot a three off an offensive rebound. Tennessee grabs the long offensive rebound, and Jordan Bowden leading the SEC in three-point percentage.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Zales. 'Tis the season to save and sparkle more than ever.
We told you from the very beginning, we can walk through all their stuff, do whatever we want to do. It's going to get down to transition defense and a fight on the glass. And look, we've learned that lesson in the past, and we can't go back and relive it. All right, we've been here already a bunch this year. Okay, right now it's going to get down. Are we going to keep throwing punches, or are we going to let them come at us?
First time since 2010 that two ranked teams have squared off here in this building. Number 20, Tennessee, still throwing punches with number 7, North Carolina.
And right now, the battle is going to begin when the shot goes up. The glass is going to be a determining factor down the stretch. And North Carolina's had a number of offensive rebounds, as has Tennessee. But the team that controls the glass is going to win this thing.
Pinson bottled up underneath, goes to the floor. Mays got it with 8 to shoot.
That was like the holy roller.
Well, that possession seemed destined to result in a turnover.
This is the time of the game. Well, Tennessee's done so many good things, but where the Vols need to be resolute on the offensive end. They've been tough defensively, but they need to be even tougher on the offensive end, get the shot that they want coming down the stretch his last 7 minutes of the game.
Try to find Grant Williams, knocked out of bounds. Tennessee will keep. And Pat Adams comes and asks his officiating partner Don Daly if he got that right, just making sure he made the correct call, and they agreed. Under 7 minutes to go. General Williams got a good look but couldn't convert.
Well, that looked like a foul. A lot of body contact from Garrison Brooks.
There's your senior leader, Barry, going coast to coast. It's a 2-point ball game.
And a guy who's a great layup maker over bigger players. He's not shot the best percentage to start this year, but remember, he didn't play at the beginning of the year after breaking his hand and playing a full contact video game.
Yeah, you don't want to lose a video game. But what is it about a 6-footer who's able to finish up and over big guys as efficiently as Barry?
He gets it to the rim as quickly as possible, and his eyes are always on the rim.
May.
Got a piece of that. Grant Williams got a piece of it.
And he was up ahead of the Tar Heel defenders for a moment. Didn't see him. Bowden able to find Turner. Barry for the lead. And the rebound goes up and over the backboard.
That was a foul by Garrison Brooks that went uncalled, and Joel Berry taking advantage of nobody stopping the ball in transition and just going right by Jordan Bone, getting all the way to the rim. He was a big-time winner in high school from Apopka, Florida, and has been nothing but a winner and a champion in college.
And named preseason first-team All-American by ESPN.com. Of course, first-team All-ACC as well.
2 years in a row scored 20 points or more in the NCAA championship game.
He's in some rarefied air in that category.
Nice play by Brandon Robinson. Knocked that ball away from behind.
There's Manley again up and over the Volunteer. And Tennessee picks up another foul, much to the chagrin of the orange and white clad fans.
See, I thought that was just a good rebound. You can go over a guy's back, you just can't climb his back. I mean, he took that right over Fulkerson. There was no body contact at all. That was a well-called play by the officials. He went straight up with both hands. He wasn't on his back at all. And I know it looks that way, and oftentimes that's called, but usually there's contact when it's called. That was zero contact.
Then the foul on the reach-in by John Fulkerson.
Are they still saying Luke? I can't hear it.
I think so, just like at Cameron back in the early 80s. Tennessee's gone cold lately, missing 9 of its last 10 shots from the floor. Schofield will go to the line after Barry is whistled for the reach-in. And the Bronx cheers here in Knoxville.
That was just a big-time cut by Admiral Schofield. Just went against the overplay, cut right to the basket. And a good defender, Theo Pinson, bit on that little up fake, sort of a cheat step, and he was gone.
Jay, that's the 3rd foul on Joel Berry.
And Berry with a good foul is a smart foul because it make him make the 2 free throws. Otherwise, it would have been a dunk. That would have been a big momentum play.
Pinson to the cutter. Ball comes to Manley and he throws it down.
That was a really nice cut and curl cut by Brandon Robinson. He's made some really good plays the last couple of minutes. I think he tried to take advantage of. Yeah, they're spreading the floor, trying to take advantage of cuts.
Schofield after the offensive rebound. Fulkerson has it blocked by Manley, and here come the Tar Heels. Robinson with the step through, and he was fouled.
Tennessee not as successful in stopping the ball in transition in this second half as they were in the first.
On Bowden, that's his 4th foul. Tuesday night on ESPN and the ESPN app at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll have the Cheribundi Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl. It'll be Lane Kiffin and the FAU Owls squaring off against the Zips of Akron.
Well, North Carolina missing a lot of free throws. The freshman big guys, maybe you'd expect not to shoot at the highest clip. But Carolina's had some opportunities, 5 of 10 from the free throw line. They haven't been there that much, and when they're getting there, they're not making it. You know, Doug, this type of game, and Tennessee's played really well. This is a good basketball team. But last year, this is the type of game when Tennessee had an opportunity to win this that they might not have pulled it off. They might not have finished it. And their game against Villanova earlier this year, and Villanova may very well be, I think they're the best team in the country right now. But Tennessee couldn't finish that. You know, can the Vols finish a game of this caliber at home? I know they can do it, but will they? That's going to be really fun to watch down this last 4-minute stretch.
And it's really been remarkable to see what Tennessee's been able to do the first several weeks of the season. They were picked 13th in the preseason SEC poll. And they very much have the look of a team that could go to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. Grant Williams, no. Barry clears the rebound, and another chance for the Tar Heels to retake the lead.
Took a little bit of a hit there, but usually don't see Grant Williams miss those close ones. Going with a box set here. Sterling Manley's got to be more patient. He could have had a slip if he would have set that screen.
Pinson dumps it off. Barry, no. Shot clock continues to wind down, and it's Volunteers basketball.
Boy, Lamonte Turner has been excellent on the glass.
Jay, it's been nearly 8 minutes since Tennessee scored a field goal, and in spite of that, the Vols are still clinging to a 1-point lead. Final 3:20 on the clock remaining. Can the Vols hold on? Number 20 Tennessee clinging to a 1-point lead over number 7 North Carolina in this battle between the SEC and the ACC. And we've got to turn the clock back to 1949 in the series history between these two proud programs to see over at Alumni Gym, which no longer exists, the last time and the only time Tennessee has beaten Carolina. It was Ed Montgomery and Paul Lefty. Well, you remember those guys, right?
Well, Bill Raftery actually did that game. But right after these pictures were taken, Tennessee put in a new weight room.
Yeah. Well, they don't call those guys former Volunteers. They call them VFLs, Volunteers for Life. That's the jargon around here, and people seem to have bought into it. You're not an ex-Vol. Once a Vol, always a Vol. First sellout crowd here at Thompson Bowling Arena in 3 years, and they have gotten their money's worth so far with 3:15 remaining. The Vols have led pretty much throughout, led by as many as 9 in the first half.
A good job by Garrison Brooks. Has a mismatch there. That was a really good defensive possession out of the timeout for North Carolina.
Off the curl, Barry dishes. And the Tar Heels take the lead, 67-66.
Really nice offense by North Carolina. The curl cut by Barry, takes it into the lane, draws the defense, and then just dropped it off to Garrison Brooks. And not the best defensive possession for Tennessee. And down the stretch, what's going to dominate? The defending champions or the upstart Tennessee Vols? For life.
Defending national champs have reclaimed the lead, 67-66. With Jay Billis, I'm Doug Sherman. Luke May and the Tar Heels have done a much better job in the second half, piling up the points inside.
Well, Tennessee had much better pressure on the ball in the first half, so even if somebody was open, the court was, they were extending the Carolina defense. Passes were longer. Carolina couldn't make passes in the second half. You know, Tennessee's not brought the same pressure on defense, and actually North Carolina's defense has ratcheted up.
Foul on Pinson underneath.
And North Carolina out of the timeout went to their scramble and got Grant Williams caught in a trap. That's why that foul is so disruptive. It's not that there aren't going to be any free throws from it because they're not in the bonus yet. Only 5 team fouls for North Carolina right now, but that could have led to a turnover, that trap out top.
They go into Williams. The sophomore from Charlotte goes to the floor. He was fouled by May. So that is the 6th team foul on the Tar Heels.
Yeah, it's not going to be on the shot. Although I'm not sure it shouldn't be, but
one thing Carolina's done for the last couple of minutes is effectively quiet this sellout crowd.
For the most part. Well, North Carolina's defense has been much better in the second half than it was in the first.
That time it's a shooting foul on May that will send Jordan Bowden to the line.
Tennessee much more effective when they're putting pressure on the lane, getting paint touches, not just getting the ball on the low block to Grant Williams, but varying things up. I think a few possessions in the second half, Tennessee settled for jump shots. This is a very well-prepared Tennessee team. Practice yesterday, I was at practice, all their film sessions, and thought Mike Schwartz did a really nice job of scouting North Carolina. The game plan was implemented very well.
Well, that crowd is back in it. May runs into a brick wall from Williams. Berry off the mark. Tennessee's got it. Under 2 minutes to go.
Terrific challenge without fouling. Make Berry make it over you. A good job by Joe Berry to get out on Daniel off that screen. That was
Tennessee's only going to have 4 seconds to get up a shot off the sideline out of bounds.
Well, the last time in this sort of situation, Tennessee did not get a very good shot.
And so the Volunteers call timeout to talk it over.
Yeah, because they didn't do as well out of that last one, Rick Barnes wants to talk it over, make sure they get something good at this stage of the game. Big difference between a 1 and a 2 possession lead if they could knock down a 3 here.
And Jay, where do you figure the Vols will go?
Well, they've been trying. I think if you can get something off the out-of-bounds play and get an open 3, you take it. But otherwise, there's plenty of time. I mean, 4 seconds, you have time to catch, make a fake, put the ball on the floor. You don't have to just catch and shoot and take a bad one. But Rick Barnes, they ran some action to get something in the corner yesterday, but the ball was being taken out of bounds further up on the sideline. This is a little bit further down. This is right in the middle of the bench. So it's a little more of a difficult place to run something, but you're going to see 3 different cutters come off this little stack. And wouldn't be surprised to see the 3rd cutter be the one that gets something. The first one will probably just curl to the basket.
Yeah, they ran this repeatedly, as you said, in practice yesterday. This time it'll be James Daniel III with the responsibility of getting it in. There goes the first cutter. Get the ball to the second cutter. It's Lamonte Turner. He tries to make a pass, and that turned out not to be a good decision.
Yeah, you have to, when he came off that, Lamonte Turner needed to just shoot it. That's where the clock in your head. After that much time goes off, you don't have a lot of choices. There's an unselfish play, but you have to get a shot there.
Brooks goes out. Sterling Manley comes back for Carolina. Admiral Schofield thought he came up with that ball. It'll stay with Carolina.
Schofield thinks that Carolina was the last to touch it, so they're going to ask the officials to take a look at it.
Well, Schofield did not hesitate. He immediately said, we need to check that.
He may be right.
Yeah.
That left, it looked like that left hand, Sterling Manley might have been the last to touch the ball. I don't know if they can overturn it on that, though.
But they can overturn it on that one.
They can. That went off Manley. What do you think of this? I mean, I think getting it right is great. Do you think it's worth the time that's taken to do it?
In this instance, so far, I'm okay with it. I don't feel like it's taken so much time yet. Apparently you do. You think it's taken too much.
I think overall, I'm not saying this particular instance, but
yes.
I mean overall, I do think it takes way too much time, and it takes the air out of the building.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm all for getting things right, but it's not like people turn their attention away from sports before we have replay. And the officials are just doing their jobs. This is what the rule commands them to do, but it takes an extraordinary amount of time, and I think too much time.
Well, obviously, they do it in the interest of getting it right, and if you're going to take the time, they take whatever time. But consequently, you're right, Jay. All too often.
But some would say, why not do it at 3 minutes? Why not at 4 minutes? Why not at 5 minutes? I mean, at some point, you're going to wait. This is just, it's taken too long.
Well, there are 21,000 officials dressed in orange and white up in the stands who have seen it, as we have many times on replay up on the Jumbotron, and they're all in agreement that it should be Tennessee ball.
It doesn't matter what they think. We've already made our call. You know, we've looked at it and said we think it went off Manley. So we'd be done. And that's kind of my point, is how long can this possibly take? It takes way too long. They're still looking at it. And there's no, you know, they're doing the right thing given the rules. I'm questioning whether, in the best interest of the game, not just this game, whether we should keep doing this.
From the reaction, you know what the officials ruled. It is Tennessee ball. Credit Admiral Schofield first for making the play, and then second insisting that they review it.
Well, he went straight to Rick Barnes and said that went off them. And Barnes asked for the officials to look at it. In the last 2 minutes, you can. They're switching back. Grant Williams had Kenny Williams on him. That was a matchup he could exploit.
Here goes Grant Williams right to the basket. Boy, that's a man's drive right there. One minute to go, and a foul on the drive. It'll send Barry to the line to shoot two.
Barry, a great free throw shooter, but you wonder why he's called Baby Barkley. This is why. It just goes right into the chest of Luke May. May couldn't really jump to get up and contest that. What a great play by Grant Williams. Right now you've got Joel Barry, 88% free throw shooter. On every scouting report for an opponent of North Carolina, it says automatic. If you foul him, just count it.
Both were perfect swishes, and it draws Carolina back within one. Grant Williams came into this game averaging 16 points per game. He's up to 15, and none bigger than the last two we just saw.
Well, he's been the go-to guy down in the post. Doesn't have to catch it deep in the lane. He can still, when he gets one-on-one coverage, he can make plays. Got big hands, great hands. When he gets the ball, he keeps it. And it's got a terrific touch. As he continues to expand his game, he'll be able to step out and knock down and increase his range. But Grant Williams is a handful. Smaller defender, he'll bully him down to the post. Bigger defender, he can take him outside and drive right past him.
Young man who turned down opportunities to go to the Ivy League to come to Tennessee and play on this type of stage.
Well, he can play 9 instruments on this stage, too. North Carolina brings full court pressure. That's unusual not to have any call there. But Tennessee not handling the pressure very well at all. Good call by Roy Williams to bring the full court pressure in the trap.
Here's Pinson on the wing. Give it back to Williams, who rises up for the lead.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a great call by Roy Williams to bring full court pressure out of that timeout. I don't think some of these young Volunteers were quite ready for that pressure, but just a terrific job by Theo Pinson this little handoff and then set the screen and just gave Kenny Williams enough room to get that shot off. And Jordan Bowden not able to get over that screen to put a little bit more pressure on that shot. And North Carolina goes from 1 point down playing defense now to 2 points up playing defense. What a turnaround.
Well, they are reviewing now to make sure that was a 3-point shot by Kenny Williams. And Jay, you touched upon Theo Pinson as we take another look as well. Looks pretty clear that it's a 3-pointer. Pinson leads this Carolina team in assists and does all sorts of subtle things, like you said, the screen there after the handoff to get the assist that helped the Tar Heels win basketball games.
Yeah, Theo Pinson, the best defender on this North Carolina team, and especially the best perimeter defender. And that's saying something, because I think Joel Berry's a good defender. And Garrison Brooks is winning a lot of North Carolina's grading awards for defensive player of the game, and doing that as a freshman. But Theo Pinson is really part of the engine that makes it go. And Roy Williams has a smile on his face right now about, he wants his team to be confident that this is winning time. And that's the level that Tennessee's trying to get to. And they'll get there. This is a really good team. Tennessee's very, very good. I've been really impressed with the way Rick Barnes has brought this team along.
Well, Carolina has led for only 59 seconds in this game, and they are up 2 now. Do you see something different, Jay? I mean, it seems pretty clear that it's a 3.
If they're looking at 3, it shouldn't even be discussed, because it's really clear. They might be looking at some sort of clock issue, I hope. But if the teams are ready to play, that's my point on this replay thing, is it takes forever.
No question.
Now, if it's a timing issue, look, the last minute of a game, getting the timing right is important. I'm not arguing that point. But it's just sort of a question, is in the last 2 minutes of a game, when a ball goes out of bounds, do we really want to be looking at these things that long just for the best interest of the game overall? Not the best interest of this particular game, because it always seems important in the game you're watching at the time. But is it important overall to slow the games down this much? And I'm not sure it is. It's a question for another day. This 32.7 seconds is going to be great. North Carolina going to put some pressure on in the backcourt. Try to take a little bit of time to get it up.
And this Carolina defense has really put the clamps down. Tennessee over the last 9 minutes has missed 14 of its 16 shot attempts.
Well, the pace and the rhythm of the game in the second half was more to North Carolina's liking than Tennessee's.
Just about a 2-second difference between the clocks.
I think you want to go to Grant Williams. There's the screen for him.
Schofield.
Tough shot.
Pinson with another big play. Fouled by Grant Williams, and Pinson will go to the other free throw line with a chance to make it a 2-possession game.
Tennessee trying to screen Grant Williams into the low post, and North Carolina did a good job of blowing that up. And Schofield just tried to take it off the drive against Luke Mabe. That was a really, even though it's a shot he can make, that was a tough shot to get.
Boy, you'd think the Tar Heels have done this sort of thing before. They just go to the free throw line and calmly knock down their free throws.
Well, they're getting the right guys fouled at the end of the game. Joel Berry especially. This makes it a 2-possession game.
Timeout Tar Heels. This is Carolina's largest lead of the ball game at 4.
And North Carolina had been outplayed throughout the first half. Turned the ball over 12 times. Tennessee really took the fight to the Tar Heels, but in the second half there was a complete reversal. Luke Mabe, very good in the second half after only 4 points in the first. Joel Berry, who picked up his second foul toward the end of the first half and didn't play down the stretch, was terrific in the second half. Very good in transition, getting to the rim, knocking down open shots. They're putting great pressure on the Tennessee defense. and then hit the 2 biggest free throws of the game when he got fouled late. But really, in my judgment, the biggest play of the game was North Carolina going full court pressure when they were down 1. And then, getting that steal when the ball was trapped in the corner and Tennessee just threw it up for grabs near midcourt. And Luke May came up with it. That was the game changer right there. That took the air out of Tennessee.
What a marvelous non-conference matchup we've got here. As part of Holiday Hoops, the Tar Heels, the defending national champs, have rattled off 7 straight points to put Tennessee in a tough spot with the shot clock off. They see the Vols have led pretty much throughout, and yet they could get tagged with their 2nd loss of the year if they don't pull off some sort of miracle here. Williams with a bad pass taken away by Pinson.
Well, people are throwing things onto the floor right now. Somebody threw something onto the floor.
And so now security has come out and looking up toward the student section.
It's not a very good pass by Grant Williams. Even if the pass were caught, what was the receiver going to do with it? He was headed toward the sideline. Let's get the ball back to the middle, even if you have to throw it backwards, and then attack. You have plenty of time. Got to get that ball to the rim.
Rick Barnes' club has certainly tested itself this year. ESPN BPI has the Volunteers' strength of schedule in the top 20.
Their 3rd game against the ACC thus far.
Yeah, they are 2-0 so far. They'll also play Wake Forest in the coming days. But they have not been able to stop the Tar Heels from steamrolling their way to a 9-0 run over the last 48 seconds.
Well, North Carolina is young in spots, and some of their young players grew up a bit today. Garrison Brooks, Sterling Manley both had really good moments in this ball game.
Final 10 seconds. Good look. Bowden. Timeout called with a 3-point game, and so the game is not over. Carolina still has to execute.
And that's one thing that when you've got a 2-possession game, you can't give up a 3. That's just one thing you cannot do. I mean, that's wide open in the corner off of simple penetration. If he gets all the way to the basket, makes a layup, so what? Like, why would Luke May be off of his man? There's really no reason to stop a layup. Let him score. Layup's makes it a 3-possession game. That was a rookie mistake by a veteran player in Luke May.
Well, North Carolina's only loss this year was in the championship of the PK80 out in Portland. They were unable to stay with Michigan State, but the Tar Heels have looked good, especially here in the second half, in a tough, hostile environment. There's the non-conference so far. How about Carolina going to Stanford to get acclimated, I guess, to the Pacific time zone, but it turned it into a week-and-a-half trip going from there up to Portland, and they just ran out of gas.
Yeah, that was a long trip, and then followed by 3 games in 4 days at the PK80. But Jared Haas, a former player for Roy Williams and former assistant, is the head coach at Stanford, and that's why that game was played. It was really the first true road game for North Carolina. This the most difficult. I mean, this environment, what an incredible environment here at Tennessee.
Luke May able to get it in, and the foul comes after 2.1 seconds came off the clock.
I think the crowd wanted to know, how long does it take to get to 5? Pretty well defended overall by Tennessee.
Nonetheless, Carolina got the basketball to the right guy.
It'll definitely be 5 there because it's slow motion.
Got the shooter's roll. Did the senior from Apopka, Florida, out of Lake Highland Prep. And a fine day's work for that young man. Here on this floor at 8:15 this morning, getting up shots And Elfs lead a come-from-behind victory as number 7 North Carolina holds off number 20 Tennessee.
Really good win for North Carolina. In the clutch moments of the game, that's when the Tar Heels played their best.
Our final score 78-73. Coming up next on ESPN, E60 Stories of the Year presented by Liberty Mutual. Happy holidays and good night from Knoxville.